Browns have a couple of fourth-round picks. You have an offensive tackle from Notre Dame, Robert Hainsley, going to the Browns in the fourth round. What do you see with him? What do you like with him?
Well, when it comes to picking a guy like Hainsey, I think it's about one of the rules I think I would have in the draft is just take an offensive lineman anywhere in the draft just because you can't have too many. That's something we learned in the playoffs with the Browns having Jedrick Wills go down with an injury on the first play against Kansas City. We saw it in the Super Bowl with how the Buccaneers just made Patrick Mahomes' life miserable because of how injury ravaged that Chiefs front was. So I look at continuing to add depth at the position. I look at Hainsey. He's obviously very strong, 32 reps on the bench at his pro day. I know he's listed at 306 pounds. He could probably get a little stronger. I think you'd want to be a little bigger, but the things I look at when it's testing, his 3-cone time is tremendous. He's got a good 40 for an offensive lineman. Those tell me he can move. And in a zone blocking scheme, you need linemen who can move, guys who can run. And I think he's got a good amount of strength. I think you're looking just to continue to add depth to the tackle position. I think this is a good way to go and probably a pretty good scheme fit, I think.
The other fourth-round pick, you have the Browns going an interior defensive lineman, Bobby Brown III from A&M, Texas A&M. What do you like about him?
He's a young guy who really came on in 2020. This is a guy who won't be 21 years old until August. This was a guy that Texas A&M really, really wanted coming out of high school, and you could see why, especially in 2020 when the Aggies were pushing for the playoff. He was a big part of it. 5.5 sacks, 7.5 tackles for loss. He's a young guy that got his weight down all the way to 321 pounds. Extremely explosive, which I think is what you're looking for. You're looking for guys who can be disruptive in the middle of the line. They drafted Jordan Elliott last year, who I think should step into a bigger role. I think you keep putting young players in that position, especially with Larry Ogunjobi leaving in free agency. I see a guy in Brown who could be just that disruptive player in the middle that can really take a defensive line and elevate it to a different level if he pans out.